can't believe you've done this.
Bladescale Honing is a weapon skill unique to the Seregios' weapon line. At face value, this skill does not seem too crazy. Narrowly evading a monster's attack while your weapon is drawn grants a special sharpness. But what does special sharpness mean? In this case, Seregios' weapon's special sharpness is actually another coating on top of your current sharpness that will get consumed instead of your weapon's actual sharpness. The special sharpness does not seem to care what base level of sharpness you have before you trigger the skill. If you have white sharpness, blue sharpness, or even green sharpness, you get a static amount of special sharpness that overlays on top of the sharpness that you have. It also seems that the amount of special sharpness that get consumed is based on the attack's motion values, aka the amount of damage that attack would do. Now here comes the spicy part. The special sharpness has a unique weapon modifier that overrides no matter what sharpness level you currently are at. Let's say you're at green or even at yellow. When you get this special coating, your damage modifier will get increased by 1.4 times. In other words, 40% when you have the special sharpness. 40% is staggering. It is more than white sharpness at 1.32 for raw damage. Side by side, that is an 8% damage increase to your raw attack damage. While that may sound pretty insane, there are some drawbacks. The Seregios' weapon has 25% affinity, which is great, but a lower raw attack value in total. So unless you can activate Bladescale Honing consistently, you will not only be missing damage from the lower raw value, but also from the lack of element or status ailments. On the upside, fighting more aggressive enemies like the 5-star tempered and arc tempered monsters will give you more opportunities to activate Bladescale Honing, which will not only boost your damage, but will also prolong your ability to attack without stopping to sharpen. A generalist decoration setup that I like to use for this weapon is simply level 5 critical boost and level 1 handicraft. As long as you're up against aggressive enemies, even on dual blades, you'll be able to sustain your attack for quite some time, assuming that you can dodge the monster's attack consistently. As of the making of this video, the monster roster of wilds skewed towards raw damage, and also being able to use critical boost 5 and having 25% crit on your weapon right away makes it so that 100% affinity is much more viable in many situations. To note, the bowgun versions of the Seregios' weapon will auto-reload when you dodge, and if you were to evade a monster attack, you extend 3 bullets past your normal clip, and those 3 bullets do extra damage. I don't play bowguns, so I can't really comment, but from what I've been seeing from other theory crafters, it's about a 40% damage increase, which lines up pretty similarly to the 40% weapon modifier damage increase from the sharpness that you get from using melee weapons. But again, I'm not exactly certain, so if you do use a bowgun, let me know in the comments below what the damage increase actually is. After conducting an experiment with the Seregios' longsword and dual blades, I've come across a pretty interesting result. First up, we're going to be comparing a level 5 crit boost Seregios' longsword to a level 5 crit boost Rathalos' longsword. While the raw attack of the Rathalos' longsword is lower than the Seregios' longsword, it does have a great amount of fire damage, and it also comes with an innate crit boost 3 skill. For this test, I am using the Ezra Bolt build that I've made recently with the Lagiacrus' armor that gives us Agitator level 5, Latent Power level 1, and Weakness Exploit level 4, while also activating Ezra Bolt 2. Admittedly, with the Seregios weapons' 25% affinity, this build overcaps affinity, which is not great, but for consistently testing critical hits, this build is pretty awesome, plus you can use it on whatever weapon you want. Without hitting wounds, when attacking with one of the longsword's strongest attack, the Spinning Crimson Slash, on a critical hit, the Rathalos' longsword deals 268 damage. Compared to the Seregios' longsword, when that weapon lands a crit with the Spinning Crimson Slash, it deals 275 damage. Without the special Seregios' sharpness, the Spinning Crimson Slash deals 259 damage instead. With that said, the longsword does make a good pairing for this skill just because you can use the 4-side slash to proc Bladescale Honing and then use the follow-up to get the Spinning Crimson Slash before using up all of the special sharpness. For some other weapons, I can see it being pretty difficult to get that nice damage modifier on the attack that you want because you only have somewhere around 6 to 8 hits before the special sharpness gets used up and you have to dodge to trigger it again. With that said, this weapon skill seems pretty good on greatswords, hammers, and hunting horns as well. On the ranged weapon side of things, Bladescale Honing just seems so good. Auto-reloading and the damage coding seems pretty nice. And it is pretty appetizing for dual blades, but there's one big caveat. One of the dual blades' best traits is the ability to consistently apply stat ailments and element damage. If you want to learn more about how raw and element damage works, check out the video on the top right of the screen or in the description below. In Title Update 2, the Dual Blades' Demon Dodge Boost, which is a damage amp you get for 12 or so seconds after dodging an attack while in Demon or Archdemon mode, has gotten tweaked a little bit. The damage boost now favors elements damage over raw compared to the previous patch. To make up for this, they have also readjusted Blade Dance. Blade Dance now has a higher multiplier on its raw damage scaling and a lower multiplier on its element damage scaling. Before I go even deeper into the usability of this skill on dual blades, let's talk about the damage difference. Using my personal favorite Black Eclipse 2 build, upgraded with the Arc Tempered Radal helmet, at maximum output, which is the final attack of Blade Dance 3 with the Socio weapon, we're dealing 152 damage. Compare that to the Seregios' dual blades with the special sharpness on, we deal 160 damage. And while there is a damage difference in our one hit, we can't forget about White Flame Torrent that comes from Socio's weapon that deals 50 true damage every 6 seconds, that can make up for the difference and then some. Additionally, the window is pretty tight if you did want to land that big damage number with your Blade Dance 3 after getting the special sharpness from dodging a monster's attack. In normal play, after you dodge an attack and you go into the Demon Flurry, into the Blade Dance, into another Demon Flurry, into another Blade Dance, you're gonna run out of that special sharpness before you even get to that final hit. Then if you're fighting an aggressive version of a monster that doesn't really have an elemental weakness, let's say Arcveld or something like that, then I can see this weapon being really good. If you can dodge, that is. Anyways, this weapon skill has a lot of potential. The special sharpness is a fun idea in theory, and a bit clunky in execution. It's pretty encounter dependent, but then again that could be intentional to keep this weapon from being way too strong. Anyways, what are your thoughts on the Bladescale Honing? Let us know in the comments below. I'm going to do more testing, but right now I'm pretty excited for this weapon skill for longswords, and if aerial dodges count for the Bladescale Honing, then Instant Glaives may have a new fun toy to play with. If you had a good time or found this video helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more Monster Hunter Wilds content. Thanks. And while the Bladescale Honing skill itself is not too crazy, the next skill that I'm eyeing right now to do research on, the Lagiacrus' weapon skill, seems pretty busted, at least for Thunder Week monsters. So stay tuned for that, I'll have a video up pretty soon. For more Monster Hunter Wilds content, check out this video on screen right now. My name is Varsona, and I'll see you in the next video.